So, Devstream 136 just ended with a lot of information for us to get through, the first one of the year. The full link to the Devstream is in this video's description if you want to go over and watch all of it. Let's jump in and keep it as to the point as possible. Now, the main focus over the next few weeks or the next couple of months for Warframe developers will of course be hotfixing and working on Empyrean, getting it right, fixing all of those game-breaking bugs. RNG for avionics and the grind is also being looked at, while also adding the Tenebro ephemera back into the game possibly as early as next week. Now, there is a new Warframe on the way, Odalisk I think is what Pablo said she was called. A really cool looking frame with a really cool looking gun. Our next tech-based Warframe, which on the Devstream sounded way better than poor old Boobin. This of course is the artist's impression of what she looks like. Kind of looks very like Wisp, right? Her first ability is grenades with two choices that you can rotate between. Shrapnel Cloud for crowd control and some kind of trench shield grenade for protection, or like a bubble grenade that will surround you in some kind of protective barrier. Now of course this Warframe is in early development so everything could change. Her number 2 ability is called BFG, which is a turret that aims in a cone in front of itself. Rip Vauban, his turret dream is now in tatters. Enemies that get hit by the bullets of this BFG will also increase the damage of the turret of its consecutive shots, and there is also AoE damage or splash effect from those bullets as well. So it is a damage increasing turret. Her number 3 ability, I think Pablo said, was some kind of a dispenser which would create health orbs or ammo or whatever you need basically. Her 4th ability or ultimate ability is going to sound very familiar. It is a temporal anchor, which is basically Tracer from Overwatch. I mean, it's exactly what it is. Save her in her current state, rush around and kill things, and then rewind yourself to that saved state. So if you ran around, took a lot of damage, you could rewind and be full health again. So she sounds like she's going to be really useful. Whether she turns out that way, we'll have to wait and see. But there is no denying that the turret and the health dispatcher or health dispenser are 2 items that the community wanted for Vauban for his rework. So shed a tear for those Vauban users. Liches will be getting some pretty big changes. Forced failures are apparently looking at being removed. RNG hunt will be softened down as well. You can possibly banish your Lich if you don't want them, and you will eventually be able to trade Lich weapons you don't want for tokens that will allow you to possibly buy a Lich lore, that can then be used to lure a Lich out that has the weapon that you want. Paladino will be the NPC that sells those tokens. Thrall farming also might be tweaked a bit as well. They're basically looking to lower the grind of Kuva Liches while also adding those Kuva Lich weapon lures, which I'm sure a lot of you will be pretty happy about, being able to guarantee a weapon that you want while also having less grind to actually get there. Now we got to look at a concept for a space infested mass that will be navigated by your Railjack in order to eventually get to some kind of infested planet, I think, while also showing us what that infested planet or open world will look like when boots are on the ground. Another island, more resources, but hopefully connected to other islands in some way. It is early days for this, it is just artists' concepts of what all of this will look like. Series 3 of Nightwave is in development, and apparently it's called the Glass Maker, with more lore and new challenges, with some possibly being Railjack or Lich related as well. But we've got no time frame for that Nightwave as of yet. Corpus faction and enemies are to be added to Railjack pretty soon, and we got to see some artwork of some of these enemy types with an aristocrat hunter with his own weapon, literally Corpus Lord Farquaad. Do you know the Muffin Man? That's all I see. It's literally Lord Farquaad. Then there's an aristocrat manager with his own little Corpus briefcase, probably with ham sandwiches in them. We've seen a drone commander and a mini mower. A mini mower with a rotating hand crank on its head. Fucking wind him up, let him go. Corpus lore will be added to it for us to find that will apparently tell us how the Corpus were founded. But the Corpus thing apparently is imminent, or being aimed as pretty soon, wintertime they said. We also got a look at some mini Corpus bosses that were going to be added into the game a very long time ago, but now they're being revisited. Bosses with big massive inflatable pugilist shaped hammers. Have you ever seen the Gladiator TV show? You know, Gladiators, are you ready? They used big padded weapons like this, But these two bosses are being added at some point in the future as well. Ivara Deluxe is now in the dev build of the game, so it's going to be added, I would imagine, pretty soon as well. Looks pretty cool, reminds me more of Gara or Korra than it does Ivara. Kind of feels a bit off with the theme, but maybe that's just me. Baruch will finally have his augments. First one we seen was killing a sleeping enemy will re-trigger the lull ability again, so it's kind of cool, but whether you're able to fit this into one of his builds or not, I guess you can let me know. There is a new chicken-headed Moa coming to Fortuna, so another Moa for us to build, hopefully tankier than other Moas, but they also hinted at something else possibly coming to Fortuna pretty soon as well. So maybe that final Orb Mother, you know, the one that's in the jacuzzi, maybe it's finally gonna get unrelaxed and come out of that feckin' jacuzzi so that we can kill it. Clan sigils are apparently on the way as well. Archwing is getting a complete rework with our current Archwings becoming part of the new modular Archwing system. So we will be combining parts of our current Archwings to make new variants. So they kind of spoke about this a long time ago about maybe going down this road, but now they've confirmed that's what they're doing with Archwing. The dreaded scaling in Warframe is being looked at again, but it feels like this year could be the year of the scaling rework. Fingers crossed. They've tested it so enemy armor and damage will ramp up but then start to level off or curve off. Less bullet sponge enemies, but maybe being a little bit more lethal, I think Steve said, without that one shot kill enemy. So hopefully they won't just run around one shotting us. But it feels like they really want to go after scaling this year. There is a new opt-in rendering also coming to Warframe very soon, if you're into that. We did of course get a look at some of the results from Steve's survey that he sent out to the community on Twitter when he asked us how we rated our Warframe experience for 2019. 8 out of 10 seems to be the average response, which honestly seems a little bit high, maybe too high. Next up, the players apparently love combat more than anything else in Warframe, that's why you play it. Empyrean was the most enjoyable addition according to votes, with Kuva Liches and Empyrean also being the least enjoyable addition. I kind of feel like that perfectly describes the Warframe community. Empyrean is the most enjoyable edition, while also Empyrean is the least enjoyable edition. There's so many sides to this community that just... you get what I mean, right? Repetition and grind is also what negatively impacts the game more than anything else. New War and Deviri is what the community is looking forward to the most. We apparently want difficult content, but also don't want difficult content, while also wanting more story-driven content. Basically just fucking content. But that's mainly the Devstream, first one of the year. Let me know what you like the sound of or not, what you like the look of or didn't. Do me a huge favour, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.